So this is Tim, Sacred Wind Farmstead. Glad you could join us. This was not an intended event for today. The weather kind of dictates everything you do when you're homesteading, farmsteading, small backyard hobby farm, large farm. It doesn't matter if there's any kind of livestock, any kind of plants, gardens, massive fields. It doesn't matter. If you are responsible for the life of something on your property as part of your own livelihood, everything is dictated by weather. We're back out in the goat pen, trying to do some modifications. We've been hearing quite a bit this week about possible snow. Kind of looking forward to that. After several years in Florida, I haven't seen snow in a while. Per typical South Carolina winter weather, we're not going to get snow, at least not here. I don't anticipate, maybe a little. What we are going to get, which is very typical of the South Carolina winter mix, is a lot of freezing rain and heavy wind. There, girl. So I got to do something. We've been using the pallet beds, and they do pretty good with windbreak. But clearly, I mean, there's holes all through the slats. And it's going to be a very nasty next few days. Actually moving on into the next week, if I'm to believe the long-term forecast. So, the plan is, I've been saving the old feed bags from the corn. We're just going to tack them up like curtains, if the goats will let me, and try to create a windbreak. We'll be doing that here. All the pig pens, especially the one with the babies in it, we'll be covering it up, a couple layers. Probably the bottoms of the rabbit cages, anything that will protect them from some wind and some freezing rain. And our big challenge, I guess, is trying to figure out what to do with those hard-headed turkeys that refuse to roost anywhere that we've got set up for them. So, watch out, baby girl. Let's get a little work here done. Start right here. Yeah, something like that. Hopefully it'll do it. I ain't gonna make you watch it all. I'll be back in a bit and we'll show you what we've done. Alright, so the goat hut has been padded up and we've hung all the bags on the sides. We've got windbreak under here by the feeder. I went ahead and addressed the rain issue that we talked about in the last video on the build. And we've wrapped the northeast side, and we went ahead and wrapped the east side too. The only opening is on the front. It's not terribly pretty. Guarantee it's going to be a lot warmer when these 20-mile-an-hour winds with 40-mile-an-hour gusts kick up. And hopefully we tidied up some of these holes at the top to keep that freezing rain from coming out of them. So this one's done. We're going to move that way and start on some hot cuts. So back here we've got Natasha and the 5 piglets. So we're very concerned about them and all this freezing rain, especially with how fast we threw all this together to try to keep them out of the weather. So I've already got a couple hung up, but what we're doing specifically on this one is trying to tack up underneath, because there is a gap here, by tucking it up underneath the plastic part of the roof and pulling down, because the water is currently running straight down the pallet wall straight into their bedding. And it's imperative that in the next few days, where it's not getting above 30, that the piglets not be sleeping on a bed of ice. So we've started. We'll hang another curtain across the top, and then of course we'll do the side walls, tuck them in as tight as possible, and then we'll drop the curtain down over top of it and tack it into place. And may do something on the front to close it up a little bit. Not sure yet how we're going to do that. Definitely do that firewall. Well, I think we got Big Mama here and the baby's covered up pretty good. Come on, Tosh, let's do an inspection. See what you think. So you can see the covering on the walls now, all the way out. And of course the little ones are taking full advantage. They've already rolled up to a pile in the corner. We did have a very wide opening on the front, rather than build a door and all, we decided to utilize some of this hay that we had that had gotten some moisture in it. We literally just stood it up and have secured it to the sidewall with a series of twine just as an extra windbreak, so they can get up in the corner of that and still give them plenty of room. And like on the front side, we again tucked the plastic up under here to prevent the water run out from getting down in it. I think they're in really good shape. They're extremely healthy, getting good and fat already. Natasha here is without a doubt probably the best mama we've got on the farm. Definitely the sweetest girl we got. Ain't that right, baby? And so yeah, we're gonna take care of her. She takes care of us. All right, final hog hut. It's got some windbreak put on it. This one was a little bit easier, shorter pallets, and they've got so much hay bunched up on the insides that we really only needed to go one bag. Plus, they're pretty big girls, so it's not like they're really in danger of freezing up. They are from New Zealand. They should be really winter hardy. My goodness, look at the width of that thing through the shoulder. She is getting so big. Girl, you're amazing. Love my cooney coonies. Love them, love them, love them. And I'll give you a peek at this, guys. Remember the chicken house build we did back here? Yeah. Apparently they're loving it. It's I ain't gonna lie, I just stepped through here, and even with the front open to the south side, I bet you there's a 5 to 10 degree difference right now. And no wind. Yep, they're kind of loving it. Both the hog huts back here in the back have been done. Everything's good. Chickens look like they're gonna be fine. So we got to turn our attention to these guys. One on the left where the 3 boys are, and of course the big one that looks like it's falling apart where Curly Sue is residing. They're going to pose a bit more of a challenge. The reason for said challenge is they're inside the fence right up against the fence line, and they're pretty big. So since this is the north side, so the bulk of that storm should be coming kind of northwest, be about here where all this wind is coming right on the broadside here. So I think to make things a little simpler for ourselves here, Jenny's runway, she thinks she's a model today, I guess. Is that right? What's up, Jenny? And I really got to figure out what to do with them, because they 100% free range. They've stayed nowhere we have ever put them. They won't go in the chicken hut. They won't go in the little hut out there. They actually roost. The 2 boys roost on top of the gate. Little Miss Jenny here, she roosts up there on top of the chicken house, like up on top of the chicken house. So yeah, I ain't figured out what to do with them yet. But back to what I was saying, Jenny in the runway. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it and stand it up, and we're gonna slide it on the outside of the fence, right down here on the ground behind the corn bags and the feed buckets. Maybe even use 2 of them. That way I can come in with either more feed bags, or I actually realized I have a couple of banner tarps somewhere rolled up that I scavenged. And I think if I can find a couple, we can just unroll them and put them down the back full sheeting and get it all done at once, if it works out. And if it don't work out, either way, I'm going to show you what it is, so stay tuned. Well, there's nothing like breaking out the camera to show a finished project to make you realize the project is not finished. I completely forgot to cover that side, but we'll do that in a second, because I've got a side on the boar's side to do as well. The wafer board is perfect. It lined up. I've got 2 of them overlap. I actually screwed it to part of the wood on either end and in the middle, just to keep 40-mile-an-hour gust is not terribly uncommon in this state. We are a hurricane state, but it's a pretty good breeze, and given the right angle of deflection, it can do some damage. So we wanted to make sure that didn't go anywhere, And I did find the old banners. I turned them inside out, most of them. That one is actually printed on both sides, so you know, it is what it is. If you've been around me long enough to know, you have heard me say, and you know it's kind of my mantra, in an emergency situation, it ain't got to be pretty, it's got to be effective. And I think this is going to be pretty effective. I will show one other thing I have done here. Curly Sue's was wide open, 8 foot wide, because at one time there was several hogs in here sharing that, and we didn't have a sidewall, so I actually extended it around the corner about 3 feet and wrapped the banner around it as well, just to give a little bit more of a windbreak. She's our oldest hog, and yeah, she's slated for freezer camp soon, maybe next week, but still, you don't want her miserable up until that day. And when we get all this cleaned back out and prepped again, this will become the new farrowing pen for the next set. Appears to me that we've made some pretty good strides getting prepared for this ice storm. Got the boys covered up. Everybody's got tons of new hay to protect them from the frozen ground. Everything over here is buttoned up as tight as can be. Well, not really as tight as can be. That would be a barn, and I don't have a barn. So, as tight as can be for now. We even got the northern and the western sides of the old green mile here. I didn't bag it up, but we did put some of the blue pallets we just offloaded off the truck around it just to cut down on some of the windbreak. Moved the plywood top so that the perch area is completely covered to keep them out of the rain. You know, you do what you can do. We've done about everything we can do. And so with that being the case, I'm gonna go fill up some water. There are several buckets, milk jugs that we've collected. That'll be our prep. Lots of blankets on the beds. I'm not worried about freezing to death. Even if the power goes out for 2 or 3 days, it will be terribly uncomfortable inside, but we won't die. I mean, we're outside in it pretty much every day anyhow. So inside out of the wind, we still layer up. We can still get dew. People did it for years. Next year, I will have some kind of wood burning stove, or at the very least, a gas-powered unit for emergencies. Didn't happen this year, and that's all right. We'll make do. Hopefully, good Lord be willing, we won't have to worry about it anyway. So, I'm gonna put up the rest of my tools, go take care of that. And hopefully get some more of that pallet fence that we were working on started. Well, it turns out it was a good thing we did all that prep work. I mean, it could have been a lot worse, I suppose. But we were up around 8 o'clock this morning checking on everything and doing a feed. And were pleasantly surprised with how thin the ice was. But that was a jokes on us kind of thing. It's gotten, it's getting close. Definitely over a quarter inch, probably close to half inch maybe. But we're losing quite a bit of younger limbs, small limbs. I've moved the vehicles out from under the pecan trees. I don't know if y'all can see it from here, but that tree on the other side has lost a lot of its dead limbs. These are just hanging the ground. I'm sure we're getting the same as everybody else. My tin's bowed down. This is that's good and heavy. But I'm fixing to do another quick walkthrough. Bear with the bouncy camera. It's kind of cold out here. I've got stuff laid down all over top of it. Don't think it's tore up the fence line though. Definitely buried it and got it pushed down. I'm gonna walk the back side. It's one of the reasons we wanted to clear so much off the fence. Lost that limb while I was trying to put some hay in here for little Rosie because she was just standing up there freezing to death. Turns out Billy and Rose and Dorothy weren't letting her in the hutch at all, so she's been out here just standing against the wall freezing. Can't even walk through my tractor path. That's pretty much done. Unfortunately, my tarp shed is still up over my hay and stuff. But we've got quite a mess back here. Looks like. And that's a nice size. Oh, good grief. What have we here? That tree top's completely out. And the entire tree top is inside the pig pen with the boys. Does not look like it has hurt the fence though. Ooh, it's cold. That wind is cutting. So yeah, wow. There's the top where it broke out, the whole top of that and come out. Ooh. Here's not too terrible bad. Probably should not be walking through the trees, filming trees falling. It's probably not the smartest thing I've ever done. But I've done a lot of dumb stuff, so. Alright, everything out here looks pretty good. I do need to walk to the back paddock where Mama Pig is. My commotion's got the boys out. They checking out. At least they'll have plenty of green to eat on for a while. I like that. I've lost limbs in my sitting area. Got one laid on my rabbit hutches. What we got back here? I got some heavy toppers here. I'm not gonna walk back through there, but I don't see anything pressing on the fence line, so it appears we're all right there. But yeah, everything is subjected to the winter when you're living out. And we still have power, so water, electricity, everything's good at the moment. One of these trees in the backyard's got probably a 8-inch to 10-inch diameter limb in the top of it. It sheared off earlier and it's actually caught just hanging there. There goes another one. There goes another one. Mercy. Ooh. I don't know if you can see it. I don't even know if I can find it now. There it is. There's a big broke there. Just came down. So yeah, it turns out a winter storm without the snow just stinks. I mean, not that it's great with snow, but at least it's prettier. I'm gonna head back inside. As we walk and talk, these things are popping like popcorn back here behind us. I really ain't looking for one to hit me in the head. Anyway, here's where we're at.